comes out of the portal, he hears the audience shouting, who are shouting and welcoming Jui. Girls are telling him I love you. Some have considered Jui as their god, so some are saying that Jui is very amazing. Everyone is saying their own thing. Among these, many people have considered Jui as a god. Seeing all this, Jui was stunned. He could not understand what had happened to all these people. Then he sees some people coming towards him. He looks towards them where the headmaster and the education director were coming towards him smiling. And some people are continuously taking photographs of Jui. These are media people. Then the headmaster laughs and tells Jui, solo clearing the nightmare difficulty within 10 minutes. This is an unprecedented honor for the second academy. From my years of experience researching the exams, Jui has the potential to reach Sukang District's first place. Your future is bright. Jui, after hearing the headmaster's praise, says, you are praising me too much. Meanwhile, a car suddenly arrives there and all the students are stunned to see it. The students are stunned to see whose car it is and who dares to drive into the venue like this. Then a student says, holy shit, isn't this a magic item that can enter flight mode? The S400. The car that is worth a house in the capital S400. All the students are shocked to see this car and say that yes, this is the same car. Then the education director invites Jui in the car that it will take minimum 3 days for the result to come. We will inform you as soon as the result comes. Our MC thanks Director Jan for this. The headmaster is very happy at this time and he asks Jui to take some rest and wait for good news. After this the story shifts to the hospital where we see our MC because after the last conversation, Zhao Wenbing quickly fulfilled his promise. Ju Yun was arranged into the hospital's deluxe suite with a professional medical team monitoring her condition 24/7. Jui has come here to meet his sister. He enters the lift where a nurse sees Jui and welcomes him. Seeing the nurse, Jui says I have come here to meet Ju Yun. I have a good news for her. He sets the lift to 26th floor. The nurse tells him I heard your exam took place today. The results must be excellent. As the lift was going up, it was gradually getting colder. The nurse could not understand why it was so cold here, although our MC realized something. And as soon as the lift reaches the 26th floor, Jui and the nurse are completely surprised to see the view from that floor. The nurse asks in surprise, what is going on here? Because at this time the 26th floor is completely frozen. There is ice everywhere and the doctors who were there are also frozen. Seeing such a condition there, Jui gets worried about his sister and starts running inside. The nurses stop Jui, but as soon as she slightly takes her hand out of the lift, she also freezes there. Jui breaks the frozen door and calls out his sister's name. But he is immediately surprised to see the sight inside. Jui sees an ice dragon there. This ice dragon is in spirit form which is coming out of his sister's body. At this moment the entire room is frozen and his sister is screaming in pain. A healer doctor nearby is trying her best to heal her. Our MC completes his tasks by defeating the dungeon boss of Nightmare difficulty, and he became the first solo player to defeat the boss of Nightmare difficulty. After completing this mission, our MC silenced those people who were not considering him worthy of 3 best universities. Our MC then goes to the hospital to tell the good news to his sister, but on reaching there he saw that his sister was in a little trouble due to her bloodline. As soon as our MC reaches the room, he sees an ice dragon in front of him, which has come in spirit form from his sister's body. That spirit form dragon has frozen the entire room and all the doctors present here were also frozen due to it. And his sister is writhing in unconscious pain on the bed. Seeing that spiritual dragon, our MC is unable to control himself. Seeing his sister writhing in pain, he prepares to attack the dragon. He is preparing an energy type attack to physically attack the dragon. He was completely ready to attack because he couldn't bear to see his sister writhing in pain anymore. However, before Jui can attack, the healer, who is King, stops Jui from doing so. King is healing Jui's sister in this room. She is still safe with her healing power, but both her hands are half frozen. Our MC stops his attack on hearing this as he has realized why healer King is stopping him. Then Jui comes to King. King is devoting all her energy to save Ju Yun and at this time she is very worried. We see that King is very tired and apart from her hands. Her feet are also frozen but still she is busy in doing her work. And the spiritual dragon is spreading very cold air in the entire room. If any normal person were to stand there, he would freeze within minutes, but our MC and King are awakeners, so they are able to save themselves a little. Our MC comes to King and looks at her questioningly, asking her about what is happening here, and why did she stop me from attacking. King, who is still busy in her healing, tells our MC that if we attack carelessly, Ju Yun's heart will shatter. Then our MC asks why there is a dragon here because he has also seen this dragon for the first time. Then King tells him that Zhu Yun's cold disease suddenly ignited and froze all the people in ice. At this moment we can see the tiredness on King's face. She has been trying to control Zhu Yun for a long time, but looking at her it seems that this will not last long. So she tells our MC that the best I can do right now is to stop the cold coming out of this floor. You should hurry up and get out. After listening to her, Zhu becomes emotionally serious and says, then what will happen to Xiao Yun? And yes friends, sometimes our MC's sister's name will be Zhu and sometimes it will be Xiao Yun, so don't get confused. And the name of our MC will also change somewhere, just like his name is Zhu now and somewhere else it will be Xiao Yi. Then King gets disappointed and says, Zhu, without a high-level priest, I can do only this much. Seeing King's disappointment, Zhu has understood that she will not be able to do much. Therefore he himself moves forward to secure his sister. He uses all his skill points from the system to upgrade slow recovery. As soon as all the skill points of our MC are used to upgrade the slow recovery skill, level 4 slow recovery is instantly enhanced into level 10 slow regeneration. Gradually heal the health and mana of teammates within a certain range for a certain period of time. This will come in handy for our MC's team. Without wasting much time, our MC starts using the enhanced slow generation on his sister. A divine light has spread throughout the room and we can also see a divine type symbol behind our MC which is visible due to the slow recovery level increase. Due to the effect of this skill, King, whose body was already more than half frozen, becomes normal, and seeing this, King says in surprise, the magic inside the Saint Knight's healing skill is very powerful. It can even surpass the effect of a level 23 priest like me. On the other hand, Zhu is busy healing his sister with all his energy. The ice slowly starts melting from the body of his sister, who was earlier frozen in ice. Zhu has melted the ice in his sister's body to a great extent, but he will still not be able to cure his sister completely, so he tells King, Sis King, I'll hold it here. You go and inform Secretary Zhao immediately and ask him to invite a high-level priest soon. King hears this and says, a high-level priest has a packed schedule. The appointment Secretary Zhao has booked with her is next week. Even if we call her now, she won't be able to come in time. Then our MC looks at her and says in serious words, all you need to do is tell Secretary Zhao that, if he can call a high-level priest here, I promise to do one thing for him unconditionally in the future. King hesitates at first after hearing this, but later she leaves the room saying, okay, I am going. Inside the room, our MC is busy taking care of his sister's safety. The burst of cold is something that Xiao Yun has experienced every night for the past year. Under the influence of the cold aura, she would suffer intense pain across her body. Our MC knew that the cold was becoming more severe recently, but he didn't know that it was enough to influence the outside world. A lot of time has passed since Yui started doing this, and gradually with the onset of darkness the building is also starting to freeze. Inside the room, our MC has also been engulfed by ice. A thin layer of ice has started forming on his body and it looks as if his power can end at any time. Although he is still saving his sister through slow recovery, and the target of the spiritual ice dragon was only our MC at this time. Looking at it, it seems that it has targeted our MC completely, and because of this, the power of our MC is continuously decreasing. However, suddenly a green energy ball arrives there and attacks the dragon. That energy ball starts attacking that ice dragon continuously, due to which the dragon is getting pain, and the same thing is happening to Zhu Yun too. Because of the dragon getting hurt, Zhu Yun is getting pain from it. Seeing this, Zhu shouts angrily and says stop, don't touch her. However, just then that energy ball hits our MC directly in his stomach, due to which he falls far away from the dragon's range. Then we see a high priest lady who, after driving Zhu away, asks the dragon to come towards her. The ice dragon was very angry because of her attack, so without any delay he comes to attack the high priest. Although the high priest is already ready, she attacks the dragon continuously with her weapon as soon as it arrives. Her attacks seem to be of a spell type. Wherever she is attacking, that area of the dragon is being captured in a spell. The spiritual ice dragon was simply helpless after being captured by that magical spell. It was completely captured by those magical spells and was unable to move. Now only the mouth is left of that dragon, which is also captured by the priest lady. That dragon is trapped in those spells, but its anger can be detected by its eyes. However, she gives her last strong attack on the dragon and sends it back into Zhu Yun's body. As soon as the dragon enters Zhu Yun's body, her condition becomes normal again, and Zhu Yi is also happy to see that she is finally cured. Then the high priest lady uses her power to melt the ice on the entire floor again. Then the high priest looks at Jui and says, "You must be Jui, I have heard about you." After fixing everything, the high priest tells her name. "My name is Jui Lainao, King Yun City level 35 secondary awakened priest." Hearing this, Jui says, "Nice to meet you, Miss Jui." Then Jui says, "Director Jan specifically asked me to treat your sister in advance." However, some other things were also going on in Jui's mind regarding Jui. That if Director Jan hadn't told me that this person had a chance to take first place, I wouldn't have broken the rules. Seeing Jui fighting the cold for so long, she had decided that Director Jan had not lied to me. After this, Jui asks Jui about his sister's disease and also asks whether it is curable or not. Then Jui tells him, cold energy seeps out and solidifies into a form. This is a sign of awakening of the bloodline. On hearing this, our MC gets completely surprised and only 2 words come out of his mouth: bloodline awakening. Then the high priestess tells him about the bloodline awakening. When the Eternal game first appeared, a lot of players chose their characters to be other races such as elves, giants, demons, and more. When the game merged with reality, those players received the traits of those bloodlines. People with elven bloodline have greener eyes and longer ears. Humans with giant bloodlines can grow to a height of 3 to 4 meters. For the past 200 years, those players married humans, and after their blood got diluted over the generations, they gradually lost those traits and power, except for a special condition: bloodline awakening. The high priest also tells our MC that the bloodline awakening can bring misfortune as well as fortune. A successful awakening means they can control the power of other races, and their level and learning ability will also be multiplied. But if they fail, they will either be paralyzed or die on the spot. After telling all this, the high priest tells our MC some important things about his sister's awakening. Like Jui's sister is suffering from cold because her body is not able to handle her bloodline. Also, after seeing Zhu Yun's dragon, the high priest told Jui that his sister's bloodline is a rare freezing bloodline. Therefore, if Zhu Yun wants to carry forward this rare bloodline, she will have to change her constitution. So the high priest tells our MC about the freezing lotus treasure, which can change the human constitution. However, the treasure she mentioned is a very rare treasure, because the last time that treasure appeared was at an auction 30 years ago, which was bought by an unknown person for 1,300 million. After this, while leaving from here, the high priest tells some last things about Zhu Yun to our MC. Just like Jui's sister cannot suppress this cold anymore, the cold inside her will automatically explode in 3 months. And also told about the last option, like there is another option which is Great Sealing Skill, which will seal Zhu Yun's bloodline. The high priest has asked him to call once our MC has decided on this, but the price is that Zhu Yun will be unable to level up in the future. Hearing all this, our MC suddenly becomes sad and sits in the room and is looking at his sister sadly. At this time his attention is on his phone, but in his mind the thoughts of his sister are roaming around. After 5 days we see that Jui is doing his training and has completed some of his tasks for the day. Like his today's tasks were deep squatting, push-up, sit-up, weapon swinging. He had to do all of them 200 times. He did all of them 200 times. As soon as this mission is completed, the system notification asks our MC to choose the reward. Our MC uses his reward on his stat points. Jui chooses stat points most of the time for his daily quest rewards. Constitution and intelligence are important for a Saint Knight, but he cannot ignore other stats either, so he uses the 2332 method to distribute his points across 4 stats. Only through balanced development can he reduce his flaws. However, then another notification comes in the system. This notification is exam result announced notification. In this, our MC has got first place in Sukang district exam, and the reward will be given as per his result. As soon as this notification comes, our MC starts getting rewards one after the other. Our hero gets a lot of rewards, such as he has got the level S divine skill of God